I'm Kitty and I've come to the Chew Valley to Folly Farm Nature Reserve, and it's absolutely beautiful here today. The sun has been out and there are swallows literally glancing across the top of our heads, and the wild garlic is in flower, and there's this epic soundscape of birdsong and also some children because there's a school group here as well today. And Folly Farm is an Avon Wildlife Trust site made up of a mixture of woodland and grassland, and there are some beautiful unspoilt hay meadows here, a profusion of wildflowers, some great views across the Mendips and of Chew Valley Lake, and in the woods, a community of rather special creatures known for their iconic black and white stripy faces. And I'm joined here today by George Cook, who is the Communication and Engagement Officer for the Avon Wildlife Trust. Hey George, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
George, we're not probably going to be seeing badgers today, but
probably not.
What is so special about this site?
Yeah, Folly Farm is a really special site because it's got that mixture of ancient woodlands and wildflower meadows, like you mentioned, and nationally we've lost over 97% of our wildflowers, so that habitat here at Folly Farm is really important for pollinators and all sorts of other wildlife. And like you said, we've got a school group in today as well, so this site is just a really special place for children to come and enjoy nature out of the city.
Amazing. Well, let's have a little explore.
Brilliant.
Wow, what a view.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely worth the hike up the hill.
Definitely.
Is that Chew Valley Lake over there then?
Yeah, so you can see the lake here, and then to the left, this is, I guess, the start of the Mendip Hill, so the Mendip Ridge. So you can see for quite some distance from here. It's really
fantastic. Nice. And we've got the whole of the Folly Farm Nature Reserve opening up in front of us. Yeah,
this is Folly Farm. This is Folly Wood over on the right here. And you can see then lots of grassland and scrub in front of us, which is managed by our 4 Exmoor ponies.
The famous Exmoor ponies.
Yes, they are here somewhere.
Somewhere around, they're here. Yeah. We've seen lots of evidence of them, and we've been looking for them, and we're kind of saying, oh, how hard is it to miss 4 big Exmoor ponies? But we'll find them in a minute, I'm sure. Yeah. And it's really hilly, so is that why you've brought in the Exmoor ponies?
Yeah, so because you can see the ground's pretty uneven, lots of these ant hills around, and it does get really muddy in the winter, but Exmoor ponies are really good at managing that uneven ground and grazing the ground and managing the grassland for us.
Amazing. So it's kind of a way of using nature to help itself.
Yeah, we could get a team of volunteers in here and try and chop it all down ourselves, or you can just get some ponies in and they'll do it for us.
Efficient.
Yeah.
Let's go and see if we can find them.
Yeah.
We finally found the ponies. I think they found us. We're coming somewhere like this, although we can see Chew Valley Lake in the distance, and I know Bristol is just around the corner, and it really didn't take me very long to get here. It just feels like we're in the middle of nowhere, which is such an amazing feeling.
It is, yeah. Like you said, it's really close to the city. I cycled here this morning and it takes less than an hour to get here. But it does give you an opportunity now, lockdowns easing and restrictions ease, to just move a bit further afield from your local patch that we've all become attached to over the past year and a bit, to somewhere a bit more rural and come to see a nice reserve like Folly Farm.
Somewhere to explore. And there are loads of sites like this dotted around the vicinity of Bristol that you can get to.
Yeah, Avon Wildlife Trust manage over 30 nature reserves all across the former county of Avon. Some of them are right in the city centre and some are a bit further out into Gordano Valley, the Mendips, Chew Valley.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And I know you do a lot of work with young people here as well. How do you find engaging people that maybe haven't had that chance to have those intimate moments with nature, and engaging them in sites like this?
Yeah, it's really good, coming to a site like this through charities like Avon Wildlife, just by giving young people the opportunity to come out here, because it does require transport or cars or something to get here. But when you're out here, it's just such a great site to give people a spectacle, see some wildlife that they wouldn't see inside the city, and I think that's so important for nature connection and people's mental health as well.
So what would you say to someone who maybe lives in the city and loves nature but hasn't got the facility to come out somewhere like this? What kind of advice would you give them?
I think my advice would be to just try and find the green space and the nature and the wildlife that's around you, so in your local area. Coming out to Chew Valley and Folly Farm is really nice. You get lovely views and the nature here is great, but I think lockdown has shown me and others that there's lots of wildlife and nature on your doorstep. And lockdown gave me the time to go and explore it. So I found barn owls, foxes, kestrels, all on my local patch, even saw a couple of badgers on my local patch as well, which is so cool that it's all within a mile in my house in the city centre.
Incredible, what an opportunity to see that.
Fantastic. And speaking of badgers, I could show you the badger set
I
here
would
if you like.
absolutely love that. Yeah, let's go and have a look.
So we're at the badger set now here in Folly Wood, and if you look on the far side of this bank, you can see all these separate holes down into the badger set, so it does spread a really long way across here. And we do have a really active set of badgers here on site, which is really exciting.
It is amazing to think that under that bank there's a huge network of tunnels and things and a hive of activity, and they'll be in there at the moment. And I actually came here a few weeks ago at dusk and sat out for hours just waiting for things to happen, and it was a really special moment. I mean, there were woodpeckers, these great spotted woodpeckers bouncing from tree to tree above me, and there was a marsh tit which I'd never seen before, and a tree creeper was just coiling up a tree trunk like nearby, and then there's that weird transition from day to night where you start hearing the sounds of the nighttime come out, and this hilarious rustling of the badgers. And there was a muntjac calling and a tawny owl that just came really close, and it's really kind of taught me, moments like that have taught me kind of how important it is sometimes just to sit still and absorb. Have you had any particular moments of wild experiences recently that have come to mind?
Yeah, so one that in particular, similar to your experience you just mentioned, I came here with a group of teenagers actually, and we sat out and waited for the badgers, and we all sat in silence for about 40 minutes, and I was like, had everything crossed waiting for these badgers to come up. And eventually, yeah, 3 did come out, and it was great because, yeah, it was brilliant to just be with young people who hadn't seen badgers before, and they got to have this moment. And as soon as we walked away and we were talking again, they were all so excited that they'd seen these animals.
And I know that you are an amazing wildlife photographer because I follow you on Instagram, and I've seen some great chick photos lately. I feel like that's been a lot of, and there was a coot that looked a bit like a dinosaur, coot chick that looked like a dinosaur. How did you kind of get into photography, and what is it about taking photos of nature that gives you a connection with the wild?
Started off using a little point and shoot and my smartphone just to take photos of flowers and things that are easily accessible with you just using the camera like that. And then I just got more into it over time and have upgraded my kit now. And I think photography is just a great way to engage with nature creatively because you're looking for things to take a photograph of you. I'm always like looking up, trying to find something to photograph. And then when you see something, you have to just be so locked in on it, watching it. You have to be thinking about where the light's coming from and all these different things. So it just means that you're slowing down and paying attention to nature much more because you're trying to get that shot. So I just think it's a great way to just engage with nature, in a creative way. And if you get a photo from a nice wildlife encounter, like we were just talking about earlier, it just makes it that much more special that you've got that thing to remember those moments from.
And there seems to be a community of wildlife photographers as well that kind of share and support each other, which is really lovely to see.
It is really nice, and people will, I've just by creating an Instagram page, I've just learnt so much more about nature, and I do love telling people about wildlife and nature, and I think social media does lend itself to that. You can share a photo and include some facts about what that animal is and how other people can see it. So I just think it's a great tool for making nature more accessible to everyone as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks so much, George, for showing me around this beautiful site. It's absolutely stunning at the moment here. And you can follow George on Instagram at George Cuckoo and engage with some of his amazing photographs. So yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you.
And if I've learned anything from this little walk that we've done, is just to get out there, because there are things within a stone's throw from where you live or from where you can travel to. And there are some amazing places to explore.